We're looking at Gurgaon that was once envisioned to declog Delhi. Today, Gurgaon is that very choke point. Unfortunately, we're looking at a model city that Gurgaon is supposed to be that's turned into a real mess. A city that was meant to actually decongest Delhi has turned into a real choke point in itself. Imagine apartments in Gurgaon cost up to 10, 50, even 100 crores. Apartments, I'm not even speaking about villas and whatnot. It's called the India's Millennium City, and it powers tech giants and MNCs, but it sinks with minimum rainfall. Just one spell of rain is enough for Gurgaon to be fully exposed. We're looking at roads outside these glass towers, luxury condos and corporate corridors fully collapse. We're looking at visuals here in the last 24 hours of traffic jams in Gurgaon that's become headlines all over the globe. Visuals of these traffic jams that went on to up to 20 kilometers we hear for 6 hours has become news because of rains that hit Gurgaon in just one day. Imagine bare minimum rainfall and Gurgaon can't bear the heat. Few weeks now that Gurgaon has been really raining owing to heavy rainfall. We're looking at cars submerged, subways are choked, commuters stranded for 6 to 8 hours, and this so-called smart city is reduced to a waterlogged mess. Let me remind you, Gurgaon is not a natural disaster. It's completely man-made. It's built in haste, without drainage, without planning, without accountability. Natural ponds and rivulets that once existed, that absorbed all the rain, are now completely built over. Haphazard, ad hoc construction that's happened across Gurgaon that's led to this. Stormwater drains, where they do exist, are all fully clogged and they carry sewage and all sorts of garbage with it. So it's just blocking at every point where there is a stormwater drain. Obvious questions being asked as to why isn't the civic authority in Gurgaon competent enough? Well, for those who do not know Gurgaon enough, let me tell you, the city does not even have a proper civic body that governs whole of Gurgaon. It's governed in fragments. In fact, Gurgaon is part governed by private developers who oversee their own townships, part the municipal corporation controls, the other area is the Haryana Urban Development Authority controls, the other area the Gurgaon Metropolitan Development Authority controls. So there's not one body that's fully in charge, and therefore it's very easy for them to pass the buck. The result, every monsoon, Gurgaon, meant to be India's answer to global hub, becomes a swamp. Dengue outbreak, garbage heaps, clogged basements, stranded commuters on the expressway. The city has really turned into a classic show of urban failure. Imagine this visual. Just a day ago of 100 rain that hit Gurgaon. I'm showing you the traffic visuals yet again. The Delhi-Jaipur road came to a complete standstill. If you see the traffic, it was 20-kilometer long traffic. We are playing that visual out for you yet again of Gurgaon's choke points. That 20-kilometer traffic in that entire stretch. Can we have those visuals? Yeah, there you have it on our screens. The Delhi-Jaipur road, that is particularly, that's come to a full standstill after commuters were stranded for nearly 6 hours we hear to get to their destination. In fact, many of them did not even find cabs. And some of them, some office goers who wanted to get back home, ended up booking porters to carry them, in fact, across these flooded stretches. In fact, some of them, many of them tried to book cabs. It did not show up, and a whole bunch of office professionals from Gurgaon booked a porter, and all of them got into that truck, that mini truck that actually had the potential to go over those flooded roads. So that's what Gurgaon has come down to. They're piling onto mini trucks, IT professionals, clinging onto the roof of those mini trucks only to get a ride back home. This is Gurgaon today, the IT hub of India, world headquarters for Google. In fact, the best of offices, the biggest of companies housed in Gurgaon, including Google, Microsoft, Apple, IBM, yet a sinking city where the price of poor planning is paid by its own residents. I'm going to bring in our panelists to give us a little sense as to why this has failed so miserably and so soon. I'm joined in by Dr. P.S. Rana, former CMD, Housing and Urban Development Corporation Limited, HUDCO. We also have Dr. P.S.N. Rao, Dean, School of Planning and Architecture, and Major General Dr. Yash Moore, Gurgaon resident and environmentalist. I really appreciate all of you being part of this, and I will straight first go to the resident of Gurgaon, Major General Yash Moore. How does it feel to be living in Gurgaon? Did you think Gurgaon would be a nice place to retire for yourself? And what has it turned out to be?
That's what I thought, about 6 years back, 5, 6 years back when I retired. And the situation is going from bad to worse. And now you're talking of waterlogging, but this is minor. It will go in 2, 3 days. The traffic is the worst traffic possible in India, and the world is in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
Every corner you have a liquor vent, but you have no place to go because the way it has been planned, it has been actually, I think this must be, if somebody investigates over last 30 years, 25, 30 years, all the people who have been involved in planning of Gurgaon, you'll find probably the biggest scam of all, because they've just given away plots of land to private builders to
I
build.
hear, and the builder mafia is very active there as well. So a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
land
builder
has been
mafia,
encroached.
builder, politician, and bureaucracy. This is a deadly combination, and they have actually urban planning का मुझे अफसोस हो रहा है to tell you this on your channel, because I make a lot of videos. I am a cyclist also. I cycle and I see the
Yeah.
garbage, the stray cattle, broken roads. It's terrible, really terrible. And this is, I live in a reasonably better area, Sector 50, South City 2. People tell me, come to our village side, come to other sectors. The whole of Gurgaon is sinking. It's an international shame, and it is all because of the nexus between the politicians, the bureaucrats, the
No, what
councillors,
a shame, you know.
and of course,
And this has become a whole political flashpoint because you have fingers pointed at the BJP government saying you've ruled there for 13 years, but you couldn't clear this mess, this whole triple engine that you're talking about. Ideally, Gurgaon is an extension of Delhi. It was supposed to declog Delhi, and the city came up, opening it up to big IT giants so that the offices and all of that is moved from Delhi to Gurgaon, and it declogs Delhi. But now it's become the real menace. Even Delhiites aren't able to, find space within their own city. The Gurgaon traffic comes
this is,
all the way into Delhi,
this
and
is
it's
every
stuck.
day.
It's
This is
stalled for
every
hours.
day.
Yeah.
This is every day. Reaching airport, you have to start praying whether you'll reach in time or not. Any time of day or
So, in
night,
fact, we are playing out
just
some
going.
visuals of what you've shot. You've shot some visuals there on our screens. We're showing our viewers of how garbage is just strewn. You have no wonder stormwater drains are completely clogged. With all that stormwater, also sewage is going into it. There's so much garbage that's getting into these stormwater drains, and that's the result of clogging. Isn't that basic civic sense that the civic authorities can fix? How are they being so?
See, I when I started this kind of, as a responsible citizen, to on my cycling, whatever I see, small little clips on Twitter and my Instagram handle, I got a call from top officials. Sir, we are doing everything, they clean up, and we know you very well. So I lied low for 15, 20 days thinking there'll be good response. But situation is going bad to worse. I
Yeah.
think they're incapable of doing it. Totally collapsed, civil, and I think the chief minister of Haryana must come and camp in Gurgaon, or send a senior minister here for 30 days and do it on a mission mode, like the army does it, something like that. Otherwise we are staring at
Embarrassing that
hopelessness.
we saw some
Sad to say.
foreigners, actually foreigners in Gurgaon got down to cleaning garbage, and that video also became so viral. But that hasn't deterred us, huh? We still continue to dump garbage. Civic authorities still continue to turn a blind eye. Dr. P.S. Rana, your take on what we see here. A big mess in Gurgaon, and now it can't even be reversed because that's that much investment that's gone into this millennium city. The biggest tech giants who are there, and all the rich elite are now living in Gurgaon. They paid 100 crores for apartments there. So there's no going back, but is there a solution?
Yes, there are solutions and problems you have discussed, and the general has discussed in very detail. And I do agree that these are the problems, but solutions are also there. We have to do it. As far as the flooding is concerned, as you rightly said, all the drains are clogged. So there is no flow. But for the transport, it starts from the bed planning itself. Say the main expressway or highway, whatever we call it, actually it is also being used as a local road because we have not built up the parallel service roads, two-way roads, because we need parallel two-way roads on either side to take care of the local traffic. Now, even to go to from A point to B point, we have to cross the other side of the highway, and then the side roads being one way, they don't relieve the highway. Secondly, we don't plan as a network. Say, even along the golf course road, as we say, the prime one, even the service roads are part. No, they are not through and through. So many blocks in between. So you can't plan the traffic. And second part, even say a parallel road, the only parallel road to the highway is the old Gurgaon road. It is totally encroached, and the movement of the vehicle is very difficult. And though so many multi-story buildings and complexes have come on the old Gurgaon road also. So I think we have to take the total network planning and parallel, so that the nature of the road, if it is the highway, it should take care of the highway traffic. If it is the local road, it should take care of, so planning is lacking. And then because of the bad planning, the enforcement is further confused. The policemen keep on hit and trial method of putting temporary barricades every here and there. So if there is a good planning, why so many temporary barricades?
No, we've understood that the planning is not good, and maybe Dr. P.S.N. Rao could shed some light on that. Sir Rao, your take on what we see in Gurgaon. We're looking at unchecked construction that's just, spread across Gurgaon, and I'm shocked to know that the authorities there turned a blind eye for a lot of construction violations. They've built over stormwater drains or mini rivulets, and now I'm sure there's no going back from there. But from what we fear, with the way waterlogging is happening in Gurgaon, it could really pose a lot of threat to the structures itself over the years.
Yeah, I think we need to first understand the model of urban development in Gurgaon, which is very, very different from that of some other cities. For example, Greater Noida or maybe Chandigarh, where the entire land parcel has been acquired in one go, and there has been an integrated planning and integrated development, integrated implementation of the entire plan. Gurgaon is a classic example of an overgrown village. Things have happened in bits and pieces. It's a clear case of hodgepodge development. There is the legislation of the 70s which permits what is called licensed colonizers to operate, and they have been operating here in Gurgaon, and obviously for reasons that we all know, because there is a shortage in Delhi, and therefore real estate has to come up in Gurgaon. And in this public-private partnership, the government has been giving licenses to all the licensed colonizers, and that's how all these patches of private developer colonies have come about at several places. Only some parts of Gurgaon you have planned sectors where there is some semblance of an infrastructure that's available there. There's a semblance of planning that is there, but otherwise there is A developer, B developer, C developer. There are 300 odd developers, and there are maybe 1,000 projects all over the place, and each of these has its own internal infrastructure, not connected to a proper network or a fabric of external infrastructure.
Correct.
So it is clearly a case where we have tried to stitch in a few hundred projects of a few hundred developers into something that we are trying to assemble and call it a city. So it's a very, very peculiar example of urban development, and clearly it has not worked. My understanding is that money is not a shortage. Developers do collect what is called an external development charge. In fact, now the Haryana government has also introduced another charge, which is called an infrastructure charge. So developers do collect it from the apartment buyers. That money is deposited in the Haryana government, and I am told that this money is actually being diverted. So it's not only that drains are choked, drains are just not there in many places. Most of the roads just don't have the drainage that needs to be there. So where is all this water going to go?
So if in that case, if even if the civic authorities collect all the garbage and clear the drains, the limited drains are not enough, you say?
Absolutely, you need to build a whole network of drainage system. And where is all this water going to be finally drained out to? Because yes, there are a couple of nalas. It's not that nothing has been done. There is a nala where a large number of these corporates, I'll not mention their names, they've all done a lot of CSR and they're trying to revive the nalas and so on. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you need to do a hell of a lot. So unless you have a properly planned drainage network, and where do you take all this water from? Uh, we are nowhere close to solving this problem. It's a very serious problem.
Would you call
This
for
has to
a
be
united
solved.
civic authority, one civic body that kind of governs entire Gurgaon instead of it being, looked after in
See,
fragments?
the problem is that you have HSVP, you have GMDA, you have the Nagar Nigam, and then you have the developers who are doing their own stuff, and then you have the urban villages,
So no
and
single
then you have the
authority.
unauthorized. Absolutely, so it's a complete governance mess. It's an
Yes.
urban governance problem more than a planning problem.
Sir
So
Rana,
so
you have a point to make?
Yeah. The GMDA should be given the responsibility of overall planning.
Okay.
The execution can be done by different bodies,
Right.
but the overall integrated planning should be taken care by the GMDA because they are supposed to have the overall macro view.
Right. Okay. All right. As I'm short on time, I really appreciate all of you joining us here. All points taken. I hope it's considered. I hope someone's listening. Thank you very much.